Welcome to Courageous Woman this morning. We are very lucky and happy to have Darlene Burns here today. I'll be interviewing her. She has been important to my journey here at the museum, and I'm really excited to talk to her today. So I'll flip the camera. And there she is. Good morning, Darlene. How are you today?
Good morning, Leanne. I'm very fine, thank you.
So glad to have you come. I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. We talked about the women in our county who have had offices in the county since 1900. Did you know that Sadie Holdaway was the first woman who ever
I did not.
held office here in Uintah County? She was the recorder.
Okay.
But Darlene is the first and only woman, if I got my history correct, in Uintah County who has been a commissioner. And I just thought it would be so much fun to talk to her today. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Just a little bit of an introduction. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Darlene Burns? And it can be non-related
politically,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I was born and raised here in Vernal, and so I have great love and a lot of respect for this community. I've always enjoyed being here, and it's wonderful still being here. We did move away for about 30 years, actually. Always had roots to Vernal, always came back, always had a home here, but I followed my husband's career, and we went from here to the Wasatch Front to Kansas to Chicago, and retired from Chicago and came back here, and so it's been nice.
So what did your husband do for his career?
My husband was a teacher here to begin with. In fact, that's where I met him. He taught at Uintah High School. And then he was a principal. He had opportunity to go into extension work, and he loved that. It was still being a teacher, but not necessarily in a classroom. And he loved that. So he worked with 4-H youth, as well as the leaders, and in a state office in Kansas. And
how fun.
It was fun. It was a fun career to follow.
So it is kind of interesting to be from Vernal, leave Vernal, and find yourself coming back to Vernal, isn't it?
It is.
That happened to me too.
Okay.
So I know exactly
You know
how
what
that
it's
feels.
like.
So when did you get involved in the county?
It was really after my husband retired, and we came back here probably about in 2000, I'm guessing. I really started with being on the county parade committee with Leah Hampson.
Oh, wow.
And so we always had a county influence on the parade. And I helped with that, became very interested in the public lands, worked in the public lands department for several years, in fact, and then thought, I would love to just help people if I can. And that's why I ran to be a commissioner.
So did it take courage?
Oh, a lot of courage. And I didn't realize, actually, when I ran that no other women had done it. I just thought it was a natural progression in my steps, and so I was happy to do it. And once I found out other women hadn't done it, then I became a little less courageous.
So did you find in the state of Utah that there had been many women who had been commissioners in other counties?
There have been. Actually, when we would go to commission meetings, I would find other women who were county commissioners and learned a lot from them as well.
So it is an open book. Women can run for commission. What would you suggest if they were interested in running? What are some of the things you learned along the way?
Oh, gosh, so many things. I would probably suggest, first of all, women have a very different perspective than men about most things. And so I think it's nice to have a different perspective on a lot of issues. The one thing I would probably do is at least for myself, I don't know if all women are this way, but for myself, I found what I wanted to do was just listen to the people, find out what they wanted to do. And so I spent a lot of time listening and then acting. And sometimes I found that sometimes men are maybe have a better background or a more firm background or a little more courageous to do it, and they would act, and I would still be contemplating a little bit, but
Right.
I enjoyed that part of it. I enjoyed getting to know the people and truly finding out what their issues were. As far as what I learned, probably the most important thing I learned was there's at least two sides to every story, and often 4 or 5, 6 sides to a problem or to an issue. And everybody who has a concern and brings it forward, they believe in their concern. And so it's sometimes hard to make a decision when you have 4 or 5 different viewpoints on something, and they all have validity. Mm-hmm. You just have to decide what's the best for the general public.
So during this COVID time, mm-hmm. I actually had time to watch a few of the commission meetings, which I had not been able to really do with my job. It conflicted with time. I found it very interesting how involved and so many crazy issues that can come up, and so much that you're responsible for.
There's a lot of variety in it. I was really quite surprised, but the variety is what kept it interesting as well. But to some people, maybe a fence line is very, very important to them. Others, it might be their business. Others, it might be the clean air, the different things that go on here. There's just a lot of issues, and like I say, all of the issues are valid, and they all need to be, maybe not laws made on them, but certainly decisions made that would keep our county progressing forward. That's the main thing.
And of course, you probably found that there were some issues where people didn't agree with the decisions that were made.
Yes.
Was that difficult?
Yes. Yes, and there are some that truly don't agree. And we respected their opinions, and we did respect it, and they were all taken into consideration. However, sometimes for the good of the county, you just have to make decisions and move forward.
So you helped us to bring our museum to a new level. What was your vision when you thought about that? What were you hoping to accomplish, and have we come close to gaining what you hoped we would?
I think the museum here is wonderful. The main thing I thought is we've always had a good museum. However, it was in a smaller place. It was also in a little more remote place. It was over next to Western Park, which is a very good place for those who are attending Western Park for activities. They would frequently go to the museum, but it didn't have the visibility that I always felt it should have. I think a museum should have a main street front that people can see that we've got something here. And this is a larger area, so there's more opportunity to focus on things. I love the fact we have rotating displays so that we can see different things at different times. And I think that's what keeps the interest in the people here.
So in the spring, they're going to be doing a water H2O display traveling from Utah Humanities. Are putting it together, but it will be through the Smithsonian.
Oh, nice.
And it will be here for 3 months. And so that will be our rotating show for this year from outside of the area. Okay. We've not decided exactly what we can do for our own water story. We've considered management, water management. It's a big story in this area.
Yes.
So we're not sure where that will go at this point, but we're excited that we can talk about those kind of things.
Well, you know, we've heard this so many times. Water is the lifeblood. That's what you have to have, is clean water, good water. Vernal's blessed with wonderful water.
Right.
A lot of people just love drinking Vernal water, and I think it's good to have something come in about water. It's a topic everybody could relate to because we all partake of it and
Right.
and live by it. And so I think that's a great rotating display.
So what was your very favorite thing that you were involved in when you were commissioner?
Ooh, there were probably lots of favorite things. Something that was always dear to my heart were the senior citizens. Now it's a little dearer because I am one.
Yes, me too.
At the time, I wasn't necessarily a senior citizen, but I always loved them and felt like they had so much wisdom and so much to offer the county. And so I sat on several boards, like with the Care Center, with the Health Special Service District, with Tri-County Health, with the Golden Age Center, and I loved the senior citizens and wanted them taken care of. And they went right from there, many of them, right to the cemetery, and I was also worked closely with the cemetery and wanted it to be a very sacred, dedicated place for our senior citizens as well.
Well, we appreciate all that you've done for Uintah County.
Thank you.
Here at the museum, we're especially grateful for all that you did for us.
Thank you.
What are you doing now that you're enjoying?
Well, I babysit my granddaughter. I pick her up after preschool, and that's been a lot of fun. Normally, we would travel and visit our family a little bit, but in the COVID time, we've been a little closer to home.
Sure has changed things.
It's changed things, and so we enjoy that. I do a shift at the temple here in Vernal as well, and I just try to stay involved. I serve on a board for UB Tech on their foundation board, and then I'm also chairman still of the Charitable Friends of Ashley Valley Committee here, which helps a lot of nonprofit organizations be able to have donations and prosper.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for letting me interview you. And thank you for being who you are.
So do we have time for just a few questions that I could ask?
Sure.
Could we turn the camera on you?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I'm sure many of you know that tomorrow is Leanne's last day here at our museum. She is getting ready to retire. So Leanne, can you tell us what you've enjoyed most about the museum?
It's been an adventure. Learning the history of Uintah County has made me appreciate the county more than I ever did in the past. I love this area.
Good.
I know it better. I know the hard work and the love that people had for this area. I don't have family heritage here, but it's coming. My brother's kids will be able to say that they were born and raised in Vernal, Utah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What do you plan to do with your time when you retire?
I'm going to be a grandma.
You're going to be that's a good thing to do. That's what I am as a grandma.
And then I have learned so much, so I'm hoping to volunteer for the museum. I want to be on the board. I'm hoping to help the DUP. And then I'm just going to craft.
And then you're going to craft. That's a good thing. Well, you can see from having Leanne as one of our employees why I truly loved every employee of Uintah County. And she's just been a favorite, so we're glad to have her and glad to turn the tables a little bit and let you see what a remarkable woman we have in Leanne. And good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Bye.